This is the day after OpenAI Omni came out. I am looking to create videos that incorporate ChatGPT as a character in what I produce. How do you suggest I use you?
That sounds like a fun idea. Here are a few suggestions on how to incorporate ChatGPT as a character in your videos. 1. Scripted dialogue. Write scripts where ChatGPT provides information, answers questions, or engages in conversation with other characters.
I rely on graphics quite a bit, so could you create a graphic for each of the main points you made?
Here's the graphic that represents the different ways you can incorporate ChatGPT into your video content. You can check out the images in our conversation history.
So this is what it gave me. So we can ask it to be an expert or make it a co-host. ChatGPT, I want you to be a host asking me questions about my video productions, and I will provide answers.
Sure, let's get started. I'll ask you some questions about your video productions, and you can answer them. What inspired you to start creating video content?
That's a great question. I started in the book business, and I really enjoyed listening to professors talk about their courses and telling me all the bad things that the books out there had. And then I'd turn the conversation and say, well, if you were going to write a book, that reflected how you do your courses, what would you do? And so I'm looking for that same sort of inflection point in the video realm.
It sounds like you enjoy delving deep into subjects and finding ways to improve the material. How do you think your experience in the book business influences the way you approach video production?
Well, number one is I think the author is the person I'm talking to. And so if I'm producing a video, I've always been behind the camera. And so being in front is a little bit different, but I'd like the idea of then creating the stage for someone else to stand on, if that makes sense. And right now, it's you that's standing on the stage.
Absolutely, that makes sense. It's interesting to see how your role shifts from being behind the scenes to more of a collaborative spotlight with your subjects. How do you envision balancing the dynamic between you and the author or the main subject in your videos?
Well, that's a very good question because I've been lucky enough to be working with experts my entire career. And so even if it's a school kid who's done something, they're an expert on what they did. And so I find myself really asking, what brought you to the project? Then tell me more about that project. And then that's so different than what you described earlier. What changed because of the project? And then they are the expert, and I can be helping them reveal or to make public, their experience.
That's a fantastic approach, valuing everyone's expertise and experience. It really brings out unique stories and insights. What kind of projects or stories are you most excited to explore in your videos?
Well, for me, it's always about building things. If people are working collaboratively and finding something that works, sharing that understanding, like here's the trick I used, or here's something anybody could do, because those things translate very nicely.
That's great. Highlighting collaborative efforts and practical tips can really resonate with a wide audience.
Thank you very much.
On this success?
No, I don't. I'm going to call this to a halt. Thank you very much for your questions.